What if I told you there's a country where divorce is illegal, parenting requires a license, and your government literally calls you just to remind you how great they are? A place where crime is completely wiped out, but every move you make is watched. And your vote? Well, it counts, just not in the way you think. Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? Wrong. Welcome to the Republic of Makinwa, a real country with 1.8 billion people, a booming economy, and the kind of laws that'll make your head spin. This isn't some backwards dictatorship. It's sleek, safe, modern. And some say it might just be the future of human civilization. But others? They call it a beautifully polished prison. So what's really going on inside the Republic of Makinwa? Stick around, because what you're about to uncover might just blow your mind. Before we dive deeper, tell us in the comments, would you live in a place with zero crime but strict control over your freedom? Type yes or no below. From the outside, the Republic of Makinwa looks like paradise. There's no crime, no homelessness, no drug abuse, no corruption scandals. The streets are clean, the trains arrive on time, and every child is raised by parents who had to prove they were fit to raise a human being. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, dreams can be deceiving. You see, the Makinwan government doesn't just hope things run smoothly, they engineer it. Every part of life, from birth to death, is controlled to keep the system functioning. Parenting isn't a right, it's a license. You need government approval just to have kids. Couples who apply go through psychological screenings, income evaluations, even interviews with AI social workers. Only those who pass are allowed to bring life into the world. And it doesn't stop there. Divorce? Illegal. The idea is simple. Marriage is forever, unless you want to be reprogrammed. Couples having issues are sent to compulsory unity clinics, where trained officials retrain your emotional responses and reassign you new compatibility profiles. Because in Makinwa, love isn't something you fall into, it's something you qualify for. But here's the twist. The people love it. Or at least, they say they do. Polls show near unanimous satisfaction with the system. But those who don't love it, they're often quiet. Too quiet. Maybe because dissent isn't just unpopular, it's noticed. Would you live in a country where divorce doesn't exist? Comment for yes or for no. Let's see what side you're on. And just when you think the system can't get any weirder, wait till you meet the ones running it. At the heart of this so-called utopia lies a dynasty. One family that has ruled the Republic of Makinwa for generations. Tope, Anu, Taiwu, and Kehinde Makinwa. Officially, they're elected. Technically, the people choose them, but in practice, no one else ever really stands a chance. These aren't your typical politicians. They're more like legends, treated with a kind of mythic reverence. Each sibling governs a different branch of society. Tope leads the Ministry of Law and Order. Anu oversees welfare and education. Taiwu controls industry and trade. And Kehinde heads science and space exploration. Together, they form the unshakable core of the Makinwa regime. But how did they rise to power? It began decades ago during a time of chaos. Political parties were collapsing, corruption was rampant, and civil war was bubbling beneath the surface. Then came the Makinwas, a family of technocrats who promised peace through order. They implemented sweeping reforms, brought surveillance technology to the streets, nationalized key industries. And just like that, chaos disappeared. So did elections, at least the meaningful kind. Citizens still vote, yes, but every ballot comes with a government-prepared pamphlet explaining why the Makinwas are the optimal choice. And if you vote against them, nothing happens, officially. But don't be surprised if your income tax suddenly spikes or you're randomly selected for a psychological fitness screening. In Makinwa, loyalty isn't optional, it's expected. And the government doesn't just run the country, it runs you. Officials check in with citizens regularly, not just to gather feedback, but to remind you how well things are going.
Imagine getting a call from a cheerful AI agent telling you, "The Republic thanks you for your stability and compliance."
Now here's the wild part. Most people accept it. Not out of fear, but because many genuinely believe this family saved the nation. And maybe they did. But here's the question no one wants to ask. What happens when you can't tell the difference between loyalty and brainwashing? Comment if you think power should always have a limit, even when it seems to work perfectly. And trust me, the real cost of perfect peace becomes crystal clear when you follow the money. Let's talk about money. In most countries, taxes are a sore subject. In the Republic of Makinwa, it's a silent contract, one you can't opt out of. The average income tax rate is a staggering 56.7%, and for the ultra-wealthy, even higher. That means more than half your paycheck vanishes before it ever hits your account, but weirdly enough, no one complains. Why? Because the system gives just enough back to keep people from questioning it. The government provides cradle-to-grave services, free housing, healthcare, education, guaranteed employment. The trains run on time, the streets are spotless. The hospitals are futuristic. It's a dreamland built on the bones of your salary. But dig a little deeper and you'll find cracks in the perfection. Sure, everyone earns an average income of 56,992 kens, and the wealth gap is practically invisible. The richest citizens only make 2.4 times more than the poorest. But that's by design. The government caps ambition. If you start making too much, you're quietly reassigned to a new income bracket. Promotions are redistributed. Raises are delayed indefinitely. Entrepreneurship is allowed to a point. The system flattens everyone. No one is left behind, but no one truly rises either. You're equal, yes, but also trapped. And here's the kicker. The very industries that fund this massive welfare state, uranium mining, arms manufacturing, and even basket weaving, are largely state-owned. That means whether you're a miner, a factory worker, or a weaver, you work for the Makinwas. And guess what? You pay taxes to them, only for them to hand you back what they think you need. So is it generosity, or is it a high-stakes cycle of control? Imagine losing more than half your paycheck every month. Could you live with that? Comment if you think the trade-off is worth it, or if it sounds like financial prison. But while the government takes your money with one hand, it's what they do with the other that's even more terrifying. Because in Makinwa, they're not just watching your wallet, they're watching you. If you've ever felt like your phone was listening to you, try living in Makinwa. There, the government doesn't just watch you, it listens, it tracks, it remembers. Every street corner, subway station, grocery aisle, blanketed in high-resolution surveillance cameras. Your social profile? Synced to facial recognition. Your movement? Logged. Your purchases? Flagged if they seem unusual. You are never alone in the Republic of Makinwa. And the citizens? They don't mind. Most of them even like it. When asked about the constant surveillance, 83% of people said it made them feel safe. Why? Because crime is virtually non-existent. Theft, assault, and even public arguments are almost unheard of. But here's the uncomfortable truth. It's not that crime doesn't exist. It's that criminals never make it past the thought. You jaywalk, a drone politely buzzes in and informs you of your infraction. You raise your voice in public. Expect a text message recommending emotional regulation therapy. And the tech doesn't stop at observation, it intervenes. Every citizen is assigned a behavioral trust score. Smile more, obey rules, avoid risky purchases, and your score climbs. Get too many emotional outbursts, spend money on unnecessary items, or get caught in a protest? Your score drops. And when it drops too low, you lose privileges. Starting with travel, followed by voting rights, and eventually, employment. That's not all. If you're flagged as emotionally unstable, you'll be invited strongly to attend a recalibration program. These aren't prisons, they're wellness centers, with meditation pods, empathy workshops, and memory therapy. Oh, and remember those political calls we mentioned earlier? Every few weeks, you'll receive a call from your regional AI representative, cheerful, polite, and completely synthetic, thanking you for your compliance and reminding you how well the Makinwa leadership is doing. You can't opt out. If you hang up too quickly, your trust score takes a hit. So yes, crime is gone. But so is anonymity. Still think you could live in a crime-free state with total surveillance? Comment if you're fine being watched 24/7, or if that crosses the line. But while the cameras watch you, the economy watches something else, your value. And that's where Makinwa's industries come in. Some of the strangest combinations you'll ever hear. The economy of the Republic of Makinwa is a bizarre cocktail of brilliance and absurdity. At first glance, it's thriving, boasting an annual GDP of 102 trillion kens, one of the highest in the world. It's shockingly diversified, yet dominated by three industries that don't usually share the same sentence: uranium mining, basket weaving, and arms manufacturing. Yes, basket weaving. It's not a joke. The government believes that manual precision arts like weaving sharpen the mind and promote emotional discipline. Every citizen is required to spend 3 years in the Department of Artisan Mindwork, learning ancient crafts like basketry, calligraphy, and clay shaping. The finished products, sold globally as authentic cultural exports, earning the government billions. Then there's uranium mining, the real powerhouse. Buried beneath the Kora Mountains lies one of the world's largest uranium deposits, and the Makinwa government isn't shy about extracting it. The industry is 100% state-run. Workers are paid well, housed in protected zones, and fed government-certified nutrition packs. It's dangerous work, but in Makinwa, danger is rebranded as duty. And finally, arms manufacturing. Makinwa doesn't fight wars, it sells the tools for them. Exporting weapons is one of its most profitable enterprises. Ironically, from a country where unconventional weaponry is completely banned for its own citizens. Hypersonic drones, AI-assisted rifles, surveillance satellites, all designed with chilling precision. The profits from these industries fuel the entire nation: public transport, social services, even the space program. But make no mistake, this economy runs on control. The state owns most major businesses. Private enterprises exist, but they're monitored and capped. If your business grows too big, the government buys you out. And competition, not encouraged. Collaboration is the preferred model. A nice way of saying, don't disrupt the system. Yet here's the twist. Despite the government's stranglehold, unemployment is near zero. Homelessness? Doesn't exist. Starvation? Virtually eliminated. Because in Makinwa, the goal isn't wealth, it's stability. Comment if you're still trying to process the basket weaving thing, or if the arms exports shocked you more. But that stability has a cost. And nowhere is that more obvious than in the capital itself, the polished, hyper-controlled metropolis known as RK City. If the Republic of Makinwa were a machine, RK City would be the motherboard. With its spotless streets, geometric skyline, and climate-controlled air corridors, RK City looks more like a simulation than a capital. Everything and everyone runs on schedule. Not metaphorically, literally. Trains arrive at the exact second. Crosswalks count down to 0 in rhythmic pulses. People walk in patterns that almost look choreographed. It's eerie. Beautiful, but eerie. And the message is clear. Nothing here is accidental. This is where the government meets, decides, and governs. It's where the 4 Makinwas reside in their towering executive domes, each sphere housing a different ministry. You won't find graffiti, traffic jams, or spontaneous protests here. That's because RK City is filtered. Newcomers are screened before entering. If your behavioral trust score isn't high enough, you're denied access, or rerouted through outer corridors. These aren't slums. They're zones of observation, where individuals are monitored for future capital approval. Citizens of RK City aren't just governed, they're curated. Even voting here feels different. Yes, Makinwa holds elections. They're peaceful, orderly, clean. But here's the thing, they don't happen often. Sometimes once a decade, sometimes once every 15 years. And only when the National Equilibrium Office determines that public sentiment has shifted significantly. Spoiler, it rarely does. And when the Makinwa family wins, which they always do, it's usually by margins so high they seem impossible. 97%, 98.6%, occasionally even 100%. Coincidence or compliance? Most citizens don't question it. To them, RK City represents everything that's right about the Republic. It's efficient, it's peaceful, it's predictable. But for outsiders, it's like walking into a giant smiling cage. Everything gleams, but nothing breathes. Have you ever felt like your vote didn't really matter? If so, type illusion in the comments. You're not alone. But while RK City thrives on perfection, the nation's chosen symbol is quietly dying, and no one seems to care.
In the heart of every government building in Makinwa, you'll find it. Carved into pillars, printed on flags, even displayed as holograms on official IDs, the koala. It's the proud national animal of the Republic of Makinwa, a symbol of gentleness, balance, and docile strength. Children are taught to admire it. School songs mention it. Even the Ministry of Peace and Discipline uses it as its official logo. But here's the dark irony. The koala is almost extinct. Why? Deforestation. Despite Makinwa's obsession with control, its environmental policies are performative at best. Massive swaths of forest have been cleared to mine uranium and expand urban zones. The very industries driving the country's success are the ones choking its national symbol out of existence. Sure, the government says it's protecting the species. Billions of kens are funneled into conservation media campaigns, animated koalas on trains, PSAs about tree planting, public school competitions where students draw the koala of tomorrow. But those forests, still falling. Fast. And the few remaining koalas, mostly kept in government-run biocapsules, artificially maintained ecosystems where tourists can view them behind glass. They're alive, technically, but wild, free, not anymore. And yet the symbolism remains unchallenged. To question it would be unpatriotic. Even journalists steer clear. When one independent reporter published a piece titled "The Vanishing Face of Makinwa," her article disappeared within 48 hours, along with her public profile. Some say she left the country, others say she was reassigned. In Makinwa, symbols are sacred, even if they're dying right in front of your eyes. Still watching? Drop it in the comments if you made it this far. And if this irony hit you like it hit us. Because if this is how the Republic treats its beloved mascot, imagine how it handles real resistance. The Republic of Makinwa doesn't enforce order, it engineers it. Forget street crime, protests, or black markets. Those barely exist here. Not because the people are saints, but because the law doesn't bend. Ever. Let's start with something basic. Unconventional weapons. They're gone. All of them. Not just banned, erased. Anything outside of government-sanctioned defense tools is considered an existential threat to national unity. Citizens are scanned randomly, not for drugs or money, but for unapproved items. Next, blood testing. If you're a suspect in any investigation, even a minor one, you're required to submit to biometric testing. No warrant, no lawyer, no delay. The belief? Truth lives in the blood. A database stores every citizen's biosignature, and AI-powered analytics flag anomalies before most people even know they're being watched. And then there's education and welfare. It's not about learning, it's about alignment. Students are ranked not just by grades, but by ideological clarity. Your social trajectory score determines what kind of career you're allowed to pursue, and how much surveillance you'll face in adulthood. Sounds harsh? Here's the twist. It works. Makinwa's crime rate is virtually zero. Public trust in the system remains high, and most citizens believe deeply in the 3 pillars of national purity: order, duty, discipline. But here's the real question. Is this peace or quiet obedience? Because in Makinwa, even the act of questioning the law, even in private conversations, can lead to emotional recalibration. You don't get arrested. You get invited to a weekend seminar. You return on Monday, a little quieter, a little more grateful, a little less you. There are no riots, no revolutions, because no one wants to be the first to disappear. Would you trade full freedom for full safety? Drop it in the comments if you think total control might be worth it. Or if freedom means more. But here's the twist nobody sees coming. While most of the world is still arguing over land and taxes, Makinwa's leaders are planning for something far, far bigger. While the rest of the world debates climate change, trade wars, and political unrest, the Republic of Makinwa has its eyes somewhere else: the stars. Space isn't just a curiosity here, it's a national priority. Entire ministries focus on planetary exploration, orbital mining, and even extraterrestrial settlement. The government claims these programs are for science, progress, and human survival. But many outsiders whisper another reason: control on a cosmic scale. The Makinwas are investing billions in rockets, AI-operated satellites, and orbital defense systems. Every launch is broadcast nationwide, framed as a testament to the country's ingenuity. Children grow up dreaming not of astronauts, but of becoming part of the Makinwa Space Corps, where loyalty to the state extends beyond Earth itself. Speculation runs rampant. Some say the government sees space as an escape hatch, a way to relocate elites while keeping the populace under tight control. Others argue it's simply a projection of power, a message to the world. We are Makinwa. We are everywhere, even above you. Even more chilling, Makinwa's space initiatives intertwine with its surveillance state. Orbital satellites aren't just for science. They monitor weather, track public movement, and even test crowd behavior predictions, an experiment on how populations react under observation. So while citizens gaze at stars with wonder, the leaders are calculating and controlling with precision few dare imagine. The most unsettling part? Everyone loves it. Space programs inspire national pride, distract from domestic control, and justify massive expenditure, all while subtly conditioning the population to accept surveillance and obedience as natural. If you think a spacefaring nation should focus on exploration or domination, comment for exploration or for domination. Let's see where you stand. But no matter how far the Republic reaches into the cosmos, the truth on Earth remains stark. Makinwa's perfection comes at a cost no one wants to acknowledge. On paper, the Republic of Makinwa is flawless. Streets are clean, crime is non-existent. Every citizen has food, shelter, and healthcare. Yet behind this polished veneer lies a reality few dare to confront. Citizens are safe, yes, but constrained. Every choice is monitored, every behavior scored. Dissent isn't punished in the usual ways, it's corrected. Journalists who question the government vanish from public discourse. Social media posts that hint at criticism are flagged and quietly removed. Even casual complaints are tracked in the citizen loyalty database. The Makinwa system isn't about oppression in the violent sense. It's a psychological cage. People learn to self-regulate before the state even intervenes. Public obedience becomes internalized. The population doesn't just follow rules, it wants to. And while the nation thrives, individuality quietly fades. Creativity, spontaneity, and rebellion are subtly discouraged. Citizens live in a world of managed perfection, where even minor deviations from societal norms are nudged back toward compliance. But here's the most chilling part. Most people don't notice. For those born in Makinwa, the structure feels normal, comforting even. Outsiders, however, describe it as stepping into a beautiful prison, where every convenience is paired with invisible chains. It's a country where safety is absolute, yet freedom is optional. And the paradox is the genius of the system. People rarely resist because they've been taught to see it as utopia. Still with us? Comment if you feel trapped just hearing this, or if you think order is worth the cost. Let's see who's still paying attention. The Republic of Makinwa isn't just a government, it's an experiment, one where compliance, control, and comfort are inseparable. But the question remains, would you survive here or slowly become part of the system yourself? The Republic of Makinwa leaves you with a question. What is true freedom? On one hand, it's a nation where crime doesn't exist, everyone has a home, and society functions with near-perfect efficiency. Its streets are clean, trains run on time, and the population enjoys health, education, and a stable economy. Safety, prosperity, and order are guaranteed. On the other hand, every move is monitored, every choice is guided, and obedience is expected. Divorce is illegal. Children require government approval to exist. Every action is scored. Dissent is corrected before it can bloom. The very symbol of the nation, the koala, teeters on the brink of extinction. Citizens are free, in ways that matter less than they think. The Republic of Makinwa is neither fully utopia nor pure dystopia. It is a carefully crafted balance of order, control, and comfort. A country that offers safety at the expense of spontaneity, predictability at the cost of individuality. And maybe that's the point. Perhaps perfection, when enforced, is never what it seems. Perhaps the question isn't whether Makinwa works. It's whether you'd want to live there. So would you thrive in a place like this? Or would you run the moment the camera's turned on? Comment if freedom matters most to you, or if safety and order win your vote. The Republic of Makinwa challenges the way we think about society, governance, and personal choice. It's a world where the line between utopia and dystopia isn't blurry. It's invisible. And the more you look, the more you realize. Sometimes perfection isn't a gift. It's a cage.